Either you can read and do math or you can't.
Hold
That's
my
how we
beer.
advance our
Oklahoma's
students.
ranked
I mean, I
49th
can't
and
believe this
50th
is such
in
a
Oklahoma.
stupid
Yeah.
idea, and they continue to bring these things forward.
We have a MAGA supermajority.
So Oklahoma and San Francisco have bad schools in common.
You'll never do a square root in your adult life. So, whatever. I mean, not, okay. Me over here, I'm not doing square
Your
roots.
daughter's going to watch this one day, Abby.
And I really worry about the implications on poor kids, particularly black kids, specifically black boys who are falling way behind black.
All right, hey, so how's it going? I decided to do an Abby Phillip session. I'm going to be doing the Abby Phillips on the side of my regular talk show that I usually do. And wow, what a perfect episode to start out with, because Jennifer Welch from I've Had It podcast happens to be the guest. And I just saw her. I was with her 2 nights ago, and she did mention she was going to be on CNN, but I didn't know it was going to be Abby Phillip. Actually, this is her and Angie's autograph right here. And I'm sure I'll put a picture. This is us. Yeah, so it's fun. I mean, she's an amazing, amazing person, and her and Angie both. You should check out the I've Had It podcast. It's my favorite. So this is going to be a real treat. So for this episode, the situation they're going to be referring to involves San Francisco's pausing its equity grading policy, which is a system aimed at reducing disparities by allowing more lenient grading, like eliminating zeros and allowing retakes, with the goal of helping students from historically marginalized backgrounds. All right, so a Democratic California lawmaker, I believe it was Ro Khanna. I love Ro Khanna. He was calling it a betrayal of the American dream, and it signals a deeper ideological rift within the left about how best to achieve equity. Okay? All right, let's get started.
In general, I think this rubs a lot of people the wrong way. But in the context of politics, the reason Ro Khanna is speaking up about this is because I think he sees this as one of the things that regular Americans look at and say, why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, I don't know how you define regular Americans, but I think for the millions of educators out there, they can tell you that grading equity actually does help with making sure that students understand the curriculum they're being taught. This is pedagogy lending itself to making sure comprehension matters. I will be honest, in my perspective, when I was reading about this, I spent some time at the National Education Association, so it's a policy that I'm familiar with. And when I was reading about this, I passed math. I was horrible at math. And I used to volunteer to clean the boards and clean the erasers and everything just to get extra credit to pass math. But if you ask me the square root of something, it might not work. I did not understand the curriculum, but I knew if I worked hard and appealed, then maybe I would pass. When I look at these kids post-COVID, most kids are not on reading level. Mm-hmm. They're not understanding what they're learning. And so if you can make sure, instead of giving a point system or a grade, and you can make
So everything she's saying so far is so relatable. I mean, I remember like collecting papers and stuff just to earn enough credits to get a passing grade. But yeah, I remember hearing Linda McMahon talking about how kids are graduating high school and they can't even read. And I thought she was just, making it up. And I looked it up and I couldn't believe it. It was actually true. I mean, that's so crazy.
Sure. Hey, I want to make sure that you can intellectually process the information you're receiving, repeat it back to me and understand it. I'm okay for that. All the AI has made it easy for kids to cheat. All the things that the Republicans are attacking, these fake culture wars, or they're attacking TRT, they're not.
Oh God, Kevin Leary, he's about to say something stupid. You can't take him seriously. Everything he says is pretty much, it's like a weird type of sarcasm, or even when he is being serious, it's stupid.
California stays at the top of the idiot index. Either you can read and do math or you can't. That's how we advance our students. I mean, I can't believe this is such a stupid idea, and they continue to bring these things forward. No wonder it's a wasteland.
Let me tell you
San Francisco, California is a wasteland. This is more stupidity. Somebody should put up their hand. I'm doing it right now, saying, you guys are idiots. Don't do that.
The 10 Commandments in the school, they're teaching conspiracy theories. In Oklahoma. That in Oklahoma, in my state, we're ranked 49th and 50th in education. We have a MAGA supermajority.
So Oklahoma and San Francisco have bad schools in common.
So
in San Francisco,
Dang, that's crazy. Wow. You see, MAGA people, I'm not even saying anything. I better just shut my mouth.
I don't think that is the answer either. I just think that we need to do something about education. This generation, my youngest son just graduated from high school last week, and they were raised by cell phones, and they need to learn to advocate for themselves. They need to have autonomy, and I don't know what the right answer is.
Isn't that an argument, though?
Jennifer is very intelligent, by the way.
I'll let you in a second, but
sure, sorry.
Look, I'm listening to Tiffany saying, okay, when I was in school, I did extra credit so I could pass math. Isn't that an argument for teaching kids not just the content, which you'll never do a square root in your adult life. So, whatever. I mean, me over here, I'm not doing square root.
Your daughter's going to watch this one day, Abby.
But you're not going to do a square root. But you do need to learn how to complete your assignments on time. You do need to learn how to raise your hand and answer a question. You do need to learn those things that they're not expecting kids to do, apparently, according to this system. I'm not understanding that.
I understand everything Tiffany just said. Hard work, you didn't get it, you kept putting that stuff forward, and the teacher helped you. That matters as you get older. You get a job, and maybe you're not quite as efficient on a particular area. Your manager will say, okay, you know what, this is a good person, they're working hard, let's help them figure this out. That's a different thing, I would say, Tiffany, than saying we're going to completely change the grading structure. And I really worry about the implications on poor kids, particularly black kids, specifically black boys who are falling way behind black.
You know, it's so crazy because typically I disagree with Michael. But that's probably because we're usually talking about Donald, and this guy is all up on Donald's weenie like no other. But I have to say I do agree with him here because it is kind of different. Although what Tiffany said was super relatable to me.
In terms of academic attainment. In public schools, so
which
I
are
would never
different.
support
I mean,
this.
so, you know, I looked this up. There's a pretty Tony private school in New York where they don't have grades, okay? It's very similar to this. They don't have grades because they evaluate kids differently. But I went to public school. I know the difference between a public school and a private school. And the difference is mainly who is going to make sure that when you get a 0 or on that first test, that you are actually on the second try learning the material.
Right,
and I am not sure that's...
Does the grade system now do that, though?
I don't know that the grading system does. And I want to acknowledge a lot of the points you made. I went and looked at the program as well, and there are dimensions of it that I think could actually be credible. I think the challenge, particularly in San Francisco, is this is the same school system that was eradicating higher level mathematics because they just imagine well, we need more equity in the schools, and a lot of our kids will never go on to do algebra.
Oh, see, there's a lot of things like that I need to be filled in with, because my whole question here is this possible? Is this reachable, or is this just another obstacle? Because considering, you know, like teachers' low pay grade and all the stuff that public schools are dealing with right now, especially right now more than ever. But I'm hoping that it is a good, I mean, I know it's a good thing overall. It's just, I feel like this is something they'd have to be careful with.
Or calculus. So we'll just stop teaching it. The soft bigotry of low expectations, I think that was a George W. Bush phrase. It's never been soft.
I agree
it's
with
never
that,
been
but then
soft,
when you think about things like AI coming into our education, or A1 as our idiotic education secretary,
A1, holla.
it makes it easier for kids to cheat. You know, your colleague Jake Tapper did a story on that earlier today. And so I do wonder then, how are we ensuring that kids are learning what the information they're consuming, it, not just committing it to memory, but intellectualizing
Well, I think
what they're being taught.
That's a real question. I think the challenge is that so many school systems have actually used DEI and equity as an opportunity to essentially dodge the responsibility for doing the really hard work of remediation,
Jennifer,
which is what's necessary.
Can I ask you, I mean, on the politics of this, I mean, this is the type of thing that I think some Democrats say we need to move away from, because it's the way it's hitting the ears of a lot of parents is, you all are so committed to equity in quotation marks that you want to just eliminate standards altogether. Do you think politically it's a mistake? I mean, this was halted for a reason in part.
I do think it's a mistake because I live in the backlash of this. And the backlash of this, when you have a MAGA supermajority, we had a Democratic governor in 2011. We were ranked 19th in the country in education. Since then, we've had MAGA supermajorities. We're ranked 49th or 50th, depending on where you look at it. And it gets crazier.
From 12th to literally second to last state out of all 50 states in education? MAGA. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. I'm trying not to say
crazier.
much.
And I think there's a backlash to these policies, and it hurts people. And then you have this breeding grounds for Christian nationalism, which is happening in Oklahoma. 10 Commandments, school superintendent buying Trump Bibles, teaching conspiracy theories. This is happening, and this is
Kevin,
not helpful
I mean,
for
what she's
children.
saying is true.
Yeah.
I mean, they are trying
It is true.
to.
And you know what? The other day, Donald was, I don't know why, this is the stupidest thing, but he was putting in what his theory of the 2020 election was into elementary schools. He just said, stop teaching everything right now. Drop what you're doing. Teach them about the 2020 election instead, but my reality of it. And I that just pissed me off so much. That was a real thing. That really happened. Like, I think, not last week, the week before that. I mean, it's nuts.
Bring, Trump
Stupid. It's not
literally
even
into the
crazy,
schools
it's
as if that
stupid.
is something that kids
I spent my
need
whole
to learn.
career-
Even the 10th Commandments, I mean,
I
look,
get
you
it,
can
but-
argue about biblical teaching or whatever, but in the schools, I'm not sure that is lending itself to the kind of rigorous academic
I want to make
learning.
a comment about education. I spent my whole early career in math and reading scores, the Learning Company. 110,000 school buildings in this country. Parents don't care about politics. They would like to see their children advance to have the opportunity, if they wish, to go to college. The only way they get there is to pass through the gates of math and reading scores.
He's got to be. I think he knows. He definitely knows that that's wrong. First of all, to say that parents don't care about politics, so they just want their kids to read and to pass some math grades. When are they going to realize that this is past politics? This is personal. This is far past politics, more than any other political time in history. Doesn't he realize, like, MAGA itself isn't just voting for a president? It's a cult. It's like a whole identity that they've built around rage and like this whole type. It's like a new breed of persons. And so, like, I don't understand why he's even saying that. I think he's trying to cheapen the deal, trying to, make it seem like it's not as bad as it is. Like, oh, you guys are just like over exaggerating. But he knows damn well, like, oh, you guys are talking about politics in schools. I don't think the parents care. Bitch, you think we're talking about politics? We're talking about Donald and MAGA. Okay, it's like a hybrid of a race and a religion and a Democrat and a political party all into one. Dingus. He's such a
They
dingus.
still remain the same in this country. It's not about politics, it's about teaching. We have very low productivity in this country on the amount of money we spend in teaching men.
Then teach. Then get those Bibles out of the Bibles have like the Constitution in it. It's like my aunt and uncle have a Bible downstairs. It's a ridiculous Bible. Then get those out of then. It's like, how are you going to say that? But you're allowing all this, whatever.
Mandates. Every time I bring this up, it's a poo-poo storm that I get into. But because we have teachers' unions, we don't filter out the weak ones, the horrible teachers, the ones that don't care about advancing children. There are thousands of...
I'm sorry to pause again, but he always looks at the negative side of things. It's like, sure, it's like funny on Shark Tank and stuff, but sometimes when it comes to serious stuff, I'm like, Kevin, why? Why are you being such like a rich snob? You're just seeing all the negative sides of everything.
them.
That's
The
so
unions-
Well, you would
terrible
think
to
the
tack
teachers
teachers.
union-
Yeah, right.
See?
Teachers are the problem. Is that where we're going?
But you would,
But can I say right on this?
but you would think the teachers' unions would actually be against this in San Francisco. Why would any teacher support this? This isn't equity for poor
What
or
we're
black
talking
kids,
about is
so
the
we're
extreme
behind.
on
in terms
both
of
A very
academic
last word
performance?
for you, and
that
then we
doesn't
gotta
make
go.
any
We're
sense.
talking about the extreme on both sides, but parents in Oklahoma do care about politics, and a lot of them are for this now because they have politicized and turned people
Rather than
against
advancing their
teachers.
All
child,
politics
Yes,
impact the
they
class.
have.
they'd rather
Read the
worry
data.
about
You're a big
politics
data guy.
than
Read
passing
it.
their child
Yes,
on?
they do. They are riled
I'm having
up,
a hard time with that one.
approaching teachers. This is happening in red states all over the place. They're not interested in an objective education for their children. They want a Christian nationalist education. This is dangerous. It's
I'm
not
having a hard time
democracy.
with
All
and
right,
we know
we
it.
got to leave.
I think probably on tonight's show.
I think Kevin is just playing the part, I think he's just playing the part. I think he's just adding on to they can't know, so let's just keep fooling them. Because there's no way that he has gotten as far as he's gone without having at least some awareness of what he's saying and doing, but whatever. So, it's an interesting topic because I didn't expect this one, but I guess my feedback would be, like, the pause honestly makes sense because what's getting lost here is the difference between equity and lowering the bar. I get the intention behind the equity grading, like not everyone starts at the same line. And yeah, traditional grading systems have been unfair in a lot of ways. I never really thought about it because it's like we just always had to deal with it. I never really thought, is there any other way? So it's kind of crazy to think about it. But once I did think about it, I guess, I came to the conclusion that, it has been unfair because, students struggle. Okay, but helping students shouldn't mean erasing standards altogether, right? It should mean rethinking how we measure success. I think that's a really important part here. And it's like not just handing out grades for participation trophies or whatever, because I feel like it could easily get to that point, and that would suck. But as Ro Khanna was saying, calling it a betrayal of the American dream, I kind of get where he's coming from. Like, if the dream is about earning your way up and suddenly effort and achievement don't matter as much, then what's the incentive to try harder, But at the same time, see, I don't know, because I haven't even been near a public school. I'm in my mid-30s, so it's like been so long. But at the same time, the old system does kind of feel like it's like punishing kids who are already struggling. So scrapping equity grading without fixing the deeper issues feels like another half measure. And equity shouldn't mean making everything easier. I feel like a lot of these people are taking it that way. More of the critics. But it should mean giving every student the right tools to reach the same high standard. I think tools is like the key thing here. If this pause leads to something smarter, not softer, then it's probably the right move, I'd say. I'll allow it. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. And what a great episode. What an awesome, it's so great to see Jennifer in more things. I hope she's probably gonna do a lot more stuff. I mean, she's gonna skyrocket from here. She's so great. Her and Angie both. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. How do you guys feel about this topic? I want to hear some intelligent responses. And go ahead and give it a like and subscribe. It's gonna get better, I promise. I'm still a newsies. I'm a newbie newsies, but plenty more to come.